Thanks very much, Mark. Love listening to the last hour and all the laughter as well, and the sensible comments from Micah and Glenn. And we'll be off and underway any moment now, with 2,000 fans in the crowd, and they have made their noise already, singing their Brighton Hove Albion fan songs, and it's great to see them back in this stadium. Brighton with one change from the home draw with Liverpool. Tariq Lamptey back after this suspension, but Neil Maupay only fit enough for the bench after going off in that game with a thigh strain. So Brighton have Matt Ryan in goal, Tariq Lamptey the right wing back, Solly March the left wing back, Veltman pushes in with Duncan Webster the centre backs, and I think Ben White will go into midfield. He's played there frequently this season, a couple of times for Leeds on the loan last season as well, with Basuma and Pascal Gross in midfield, Danny Welbeck and Aaron Connolly, the two players up front. Southampton unchanged from that seesaw game with Manchester United. Alex McCarthy in goal, and then you've got Walker Peters, Bednarek, Vestergaard and Bertrand in the back four, Armstrong, Ward-Prowse, Romeo and Gineppo in midfield, and Che Adams and Theo Walcott up front, because Danny Ings is not fit enough yet to return after his knee problem. He is on the bench, and so too is Nathan Redmond, who's been out for a while as well. It's a very cold night. It's a clear night. We had rain down here. It absolutely pelted down earlier on this afternoon. We had a foggy morning as well, but it's a dry night, thank goodness for that, because our commentary position is only about 15 rows from the front of the West stand. The majority of the supporters are on the far side from us in the East stand. There was a ballot here of season ticket holders, and it was a tiered structure, and the tickets are gone by the time it got to tier 3. Tier being the operative word at this moment, of course, and they're lucky to be here, and they're grateful to be here. There's a little pocket of supporters away up behind us to our right hand side. Chris is to my left, Glenn's behind me as the players take the knee in their constant support for racial and social equality for everyone, everywhere. And off we go. Southampton kicking from right to left in this first half, in the old Peru colours with the white and the red cross sash, and Brighton in their retro blue and white. And a very good evening to you again, Christopher.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. You can hear the crowd already. It's been a long time since I've been in a stadium with supporters, Jonathan, and I suppose from a Brighton perspective, no home win so far this season. They'll be hoping this crowd can get behind the team and spur them to victory. But you know what you're going to get from Southampton. They're a front foot team. They'll get after Brighton, and of course their away record last season was phenomenal, and they've started off this season on fire as well.
Chris Sutton, Glenn Murray and myself, 408 goals between the three of us. Well, Glenn has 215 and Chris got 193, so you can do the maths. And the Southampton goalkeeper will clear Alex McCarthy towards the centre circle. It's taken down so neatly by Theo Walcott. Again, he's got a protective bandage on his left wrist, Theo Walcott, as he pushes the ball away towards the far side. That's the Southampton right. A little bit of a slip out there by Stuart Armstrong. Hasn't he been in good form again this season? Southampton playing around neatly in midfield. It's then lobbed up towards Che Adams, another player who's been in fine form for them this season. He started every league game for them this campaign, and it's rolled out then by Matty Ryan. Chris?
Yeah, he took a while to get started, didn't he, in his Southampton career, but in last season he was sort of vying for places with Shane Long, but this season an ever present, and good to see Danny Ings back on the bench. Ings looking up.
Certainly up, and all crossing the middle. I thought that was going to be an opportunity, creating, as they have done so often, through Musa Gineppo, but Ings ain't what they used to be there, and the ball has gone out of play for a goal kick, and it's a chance for Matty Ryan to get it away there. He was surprised to find himself on the bench recently against Tottenham Hotspur. There was a little bit of a ruckus here behind the scenes, and for disciplinary reasons a couple of them were dropped. Ryan was the one and Maupay was the other, but I think for me, Chris, the biggest shock for him was the fact that they were going to go in for the Arsenal keeper that went to Aston Villa in the end, because Matt Ryan, that must have come out of the blue for him.
Martinez, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's undisputed number one, and all of a sudden the club are looking at someone else.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. He's been a very sound goalkeeper for Brighton. Safe pair of hands, I think, in the main. I'll tell you what, it was interesting about the game tonight, I think, Jonathan. Now, interesting to get Glenn's opinion. Welbeck and Connolly up top, just Southampton on the attack.
And Adams pushes it away towards that left-hand side.
It's a poor pass, but the consequence of the way Southampton play, they really push the full-backs in and on, and that leaves 2v2 at the back, and Connolly and Welbeck have great pace. I'm not so sure the Southampton centre-halves do.
Piece about that Southampton move a moment ago. Here's Oriol Romeu. You would really want to cross swords with him in midfield. He's an abrasive character out there. He's had a good run as well of starts, 17 league games in a row, and big Yannick Vestergaard has it now in the centre circle. But it was a poor ball up from him, and now Brighton can break very quickly. Sonny March so improved this season. Local lad Sonny March gets across into the penalty area. Welbeck was arriving, and it's a comfortable save low down by Alex McCarthy, but a sweeping and very good move by Brighton and Hove Albion.
Yeah, it's a sloppy pass from Vestergaard. Sonny March read it and then drives up the left hand side, and it's a good spot. Danny Welbeck actually takes a slight deflection, and Danny Welbeck level with the near post, 12 yards out. I think he'll be disappointed with the connection there. Just couldn't get his feet sorted out quickly enough.
Yeah, I don't think he got exactly what he wanted on it, Chris, did he? He didn't quite get enough on it. But going back to your point there, Chris, about Connolly and Welbeck playing up front, I think they will really be trying to expose what is possibly a lack of pace from the two Southampton centre backs in Vestergaard and Bednarak.
We saw Glenn Murray, who in his two spells for Brighton and Hove Albion scored 111 goals, 12 goals shy of breaking Tommy Cook's record of 123 post-war, and he was a huge favourite of the Brighton and Hove Albion supporters. And I did notice, Glenn, when the Brighton players went down the tunnel just before kick-off, they were all thumbs up and big smiles when they saw you up there in the stand. Nice to see that. I'll come to you on that in a moment, because here come Brighton now into the penalty area. It's a chance for Gross. Can he roll it square? The opportunity is gone. Might get a second chance and put it back to Welbeck in that 6-yard area, and it's cleared away by Alex McCarthy, and the flag has now gone up anyway. The referee's going to play on, but it's a big opportunity there. Come to Chris on that, and then I'll go back to Glenn on the camaraderie here. Good opportunity that for Brighton, Chris.
Well, it was, and I just wonder, the flag went up extremely late, but it was a golden opportunity for Gross, who just ran off the back of Bertrand, drove into the box on the right-hand side, and he delayed. I think had he shown a bit more urgency, he could have gone for goal himself. It was a brilliant sliding challenge. I think Vestergaard got the block, but that was a big chance for Brighton, not taken.
Great team spirit here, Glenn. They're still in touch with you. I'll come to you on that in a moment, because here comes Southampton now on the attack down the other end, and eventually it's way over, and a flag goes up there as well. Glenn.
Yeah, all still in touch. It's a really good group down here at Brighton. They've been through a lot together, and I think that's it's because of Graham Potter, the way he likes his football clubs to be. He likes the football club to be a friendly environment where people can stay much longer at times, and almost create a family away from your own family. So yeah, it's a really good group that enjoy working together down here.
Good attack here from Southampton into the Brighton penalty area. A chance perhaps to get the cross in, but in the end Gineppo slips and the opportunity is gone. But it's a nice little wriggling run into that penalty box. And Chappers was talking earlier on about the Graham Potter interview on the Friday night football programme.
It was brilliant, wasn't it?
It was very illuminating, and he talked about his time in Sweden, and it was a massive gamble to go out there, and then a big gamble to come back to England and go to Swansea, and the way he believes that football should be played, and that spirit that Glenn's just been talking about there. He has these holistic beliefs, and it's very much into the philosophy of football, and it came from his spell at university. He's a clever man. In fact, a lot of what he was talking about, Chris, I couldn't understand, because he's far cleverer than me.
No, it's interesting, because he's quite self-deprecating about his playing career, but then I thought the interesting part was he didn't dive straight into management and coaching. He wanted to go away and learn and make mistakes, and you spoke about it, I think, at Leeds Metropolitan University and the University of Hull, and developing there for 5 years, trial and error. And then when he went to Östersunds, that was a gamble, but transformed the team. And I mean, European football, they were in the lower leagues, and I mean he's really grown and did a good job at Swansea, and now doing a pretty steady job at Brighton. Plenty of work to do this season.
Work to do for Tariq Lamptey down the right hand side. He can really shift as he takes on Gineppo, checks back, right hand touchline, finds Gross. Ripple of applause from the Brighton fans opposite for the run of Tariq Lamptey. He's a firm favourite down here now. One thing I did notice at Chelsea though, and the weekend game against Leeds United, yes, there will be the benefit of supportive supporters back in the grounds, but my word, you can hear everything they say, and there's going to be pressure of a different kind now put on players because of the supporters in the stands. I think they're going to have to get used to it again, Chris.
Used to grumbles and moans.
Well, I've been used to it working alongside you for a while.
You got it in first there, didn't you?
You set them up and I'll volley them in. In comes across from Gross, and it's headed away by Vestergaard. You know what I mean, though, don't you? They're going to have to get used to the cat calls and the booing.
Yeah, but this is what you want, isn't it? As a player in 2000 into night, making a really good noise. But imagine this place when it's full.
Vestergaard turning away to our right hand side. Big unit of a man from Copenhagen in Denmark at 6'6", broad shouldered, long fair hair. Back it goes then towards Alex McCarthy, who clears it away, and it's 0-0. Brighton and Southampton. The clock showing 9 minutes past 8 away to our left hand side on the giant screen back there as Graham Potter just quietly gets his message out to players down below us. He was talking about when he was in Swedish club football, one of the first things he did was get the players to act in a play. And JJ couldn't believe it. He was saying if that happened to him, he'd walk out the dressing room and go home. But it was very, very interesting interview, and that's on BBC Sounds. He's a very progressive, unconventional manager. Studied Roberto Martinez's methods, I know that.
Is he a shouter, Glenn?
No, I listen. If things aren't going well, his voice will raise. But no, he's not one that's going to come in like the old school ones, Chris, and smash cups of tea and kick boot skips. Very much not like that. He wants to talk to his players. He wants to encourage them. He wants to make them better people as well as better footballers. And I think we can see with a few of the Brighton players, he's definitely making them better footballers. While they grow from what is probably young boys into men, especially Lamptey and Ben White.
Free kick to Brighton. It's about 10 yards inside the Southampton half, 2 yards in from this right-hand touchline. Brighton 0, Southampton 0. 10 minutes gone on the clock, and the free kick will be taken then by Pascal Gross. Swings in, Lewis Dunk was blocked off as he went into the penalty area, but he still managed to get through, and he heads the ball over.
The flag didn't go up. That was an opportunity, I thought. It's a really high line from Southampton. The ball halfway inside the Southampton half on the right hand side. Southampton hold the line 6 yards outside their own box, and Lewis Dunk makes the run, bundles over a Southampton player, just trying to direct it back across McCarthy in the Southampton goal from 10 yards and hits it well over the bar. Half an opportunity.
Really good ball from Pascal Gross into the corridor of opportunity there behind the Southampton defence on the edge of the area.
Flick on by Ward-Prowse in the midfield area for Southampton. Basuma picks it up for Brighton, pushes it forward to Pascal Gross. Had a quieter season last season, a very, very good first season at Brighton, and scored decisive goals late on in that campaign. But it's Dunk now for Brighton back inside his own half, the captain, and Lamptey can barrel forward again over the halfway line. He's fouled there by Gineppo, and Hasenhüttl is furious, A, that the free kick is given, and B, that there's a yellow card for his man. And up through the gears went this remarkable little right back. He's only 5'4". Remarkable impact he's had in this first full season he's had at Brighton.
He has. Do you know what, though? I think Gineppo, that's very harsh to receive a yellow card for that. There wasn't that much contact. Now he's got to be a little bit careful. Gineppo tracking back with Lamptey.
Certainly gives him a bit of an advantage. Here's the elephant in the room, and Glenn's too much of a diplomat to say it when we've been talking about Graham Potter. Here's the elephant in the room. Graham Potter did not play Glenn Murray enough last season. There you are, Glenn. I've said it. You don't need to say it. But that's my opinion and the opinion of a lot of Brighton supporters as well. And I think that's why he had to move on.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan. But listen, these things happen, and we've gone for a slightly different approach up front at Brighton now, and it's working well. Listen, it's a work in progress, and we can see the team getting better each week. Yeah, I mean, it's...
And you're not getting a Christmas card, Jonathan, off Glenn for that.
No, I'm not after it, but when he goes to the Hall Theatre for the pantomime, I'm after a pint. It's headed away there by Lewis Dunk, but poorly, and it comes back into the Brighton box, and up rises Matt Ryan to say.
James Ward-Prowse is asking the referee for a back pass. That was if that was a back pass, that was a special one, wasn't it? An awful slice up into the air.
Brighton and Sheffield United, the only teams yet to win a Premier League home game this season. Sheffield United beaten late on by Leicester, of course, and what a daunting task it is for them to reach 36 points even, let alone 40, which is that mythical safety mark. Hasn't been needed in recent years. 36 has been normally round about what you'd attain, but that's going to be difficult for Sheffield United from this moment on. Now it's a free kick for Brighton, 0-0 on 5 Live from the BBC. Massive week of football with the Champions League tomorrow and Wednesday, and the news of the Europa League, of course, as the scores develop through on Thursday evening. And it's going to be a free kick here for Brighton, and Pascal Gross conspires over it with Yves Bissouma. He's had a stronger season this season, Pascal Gross, and when he scores they very rarely lose. He's taken over penalty duties again, and he sweeps it away towards Pascal Gross to attack the left-hand corner then of the Southampton box as Brighton see it, and the ball shoveled into the penalty area, and there's Oriol Romeo to get it away again.
Now tried to work an angle from the free kick, worked out to the left-hand side. It's one of those when you're a centre-half. Lewis Dunk has gone all the way forward, and Solly March hitting the first defender.
Romeo stretches to get a challenge in on Connolly. The ball's on the edge of the Southampton penalty area, away to our right hand side. A little shove there by Welbeck on the back of Romeo. Free kick Southampton. Glenn, talk to us a little bit about the character of Solly March. He's a local lad from Eastbourne and signed from Lewis. He under 21 4 years ago. Then the career sort of stopped, didn't it, a little bit, but he's really come into his own this season, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So Solly picked up a few bad injuries as a younger player, and it took him a little while to get over it. And I really feel as though he's found a manager in Graham Potter that believes that he can play at this level, and he's found a position that Solly seems to suit. You couldn't quite put our finger on where Solly should play, but he seems to have slipped into that left wing back role really well, and without doubt we're definitely seeing the best of Solly March at the moment.
A little bit of a problem for Southampton. Adams limped away a minute ago from a challenge. He's still limping in the centre forward position. Should be okay. And Danny Ings, of course, is on the bench for them. 5 goals this season. Wonderful season last season, best in his career. It's cleared away at the back then for Brighton. Big sweeping clearance with Walker Peters. Dad used to play at Millwall and Charlton, I seem to remember. Phil. And here's now Ward-Prowse, a good campaign he's had. Ward-Prowse, he scored 3 of the Premier League's 6 direct free kick goals this campaign. Up towards Adams. He's okay there now, is he, Chris? He skipped away from that. He seems okay to me anyway.
Well, I'm not a medical expert, Jonathan, as you well know, but he's running okay. Moving okay, yeah.
He's okay, yeah. It's going to be a throw to Brighton on the right hand side. Solly March is over. He's only 25 now. He's the 5th Brighton Hove Albion player to reach 100 Premier League appearances. Graham Potter down below me turns, has a little conversation with one of his coaches. It's Billy Reid, the former Hamilton manager. He was with him at Ostersund and Swansea as well. And what did he say? The first training session at Ostersund was something like minus 25 in terms of where they were dark, he said. And
feels like a little bit like that tonight. Just as we mentioned there, Adams is struggling a little bit. I think I've seen a little bit of movement on the bench there. Danny Ings and Danny Ings I think he might be getting ready to warm up, but maybe Southampton don't want to bring him on this early. It's very early for somebody coming back from an injury.
He's been out for a while with a knee problem, Danny Ings. And Southampton tried to burrow their way through the middle, but Ben White was there to block, and here's Yves Bissouma, who's all action, and he plays the ball through the channel to the inside left position, and Welbeck's there, square ball to Aaron Connolly. Connolly whipped it away towards the right hand side as if he was caught unawares by the ball coming into him. He tried to find the arriving Tarek Lamptey, and it was headed away at the back by Djenepo, and it's a corner kick for Brighton on the right hand side. I think it's their first corner kick of the game. I think it's the first corner of the game, isn't it? We've had 18 minutes on 5 Live from the BBC, and Solly March will come across and take it and deliver into the box. What does Connolly need to learn, Glenn, at this moment in time as a player?
I just think he needs a little bit of game time. He was fantastic at the under-23 level for Brighton, and it's a big step up under-23s to the Premier League, but he's shown glimpses of the talent he's got. He's obviously made his international debut, and I think just time on the field's going to give him that opportunity. I mean, we spoke about Calvert-Lewin, and he's had time to develop himself as a player in the Premier League, and you don't often get that time, and hopefully Aaron can get that time for Brighton.
March's corner came in towards the near post, headed away again for another corner kick for Brighton. Major problem is scoring goals. They haven't scored enough really in their Premier League history.
I don't know about that, Jonathan.
Apart from one man, I was going to say, but he's in there early. And it's Solly March on the right hand side. Back it comes, cross high, spiralling from Veltman, and easily gathered by Alex McCarthy. They have scored 121 goals in their 123 Premier League games, but they're getting steadier, they're getting more assured against the big clubs, but it's 0-0 here against a team that has done so well under Ralph Hasenhüttl since that horrendous 9-0 at home. The form over the last year has been very impressive as it's cleared away into the Southampton half, and Vestergaard's underneath that.
It was a good decision to keep Ralph on, wasn't it?
Brave decision, Chris,
yeah,
wasn't it?
Absolutely. I think a lot of owners would have panicked, but bearing the fruits now.
Brighton have possession with Lewis Dunk, local lad, still lives locally. Just down the road from me, Chris, actually.
Yeah, well, he'd have to live locally, wouldn't he?
Well, some of them don't, do they? Some of them live up, he's only about 10-15 minutes away from
he's not going to go and live in Manchester, is he?
He's got the big house on the road, on our road. I've got a little shed at the end. Bertrand with the throw. Down the line, Che Adams is there. Flick ball into Djenepo. This is promising for Southampton. He tried to trick his way between Dunk and Veltman. The former Ajax player got a touch on it, and Lewis Dunk can clear it away, and we've been playing 20 minutes already, and it's goalless. And Gross leapt in there with the Romeo. The ball bounces away towards James Ward-Prowse, the England international. Turns, spins, lays it in 3-4 yards to his right hand side, but once again there is this very industrious midfield player, Yves Bissouma. He's a huge favourite with the Brighton fans, I can tell you. Missed 3 games this season after he was sent off at Newcastle United. And he's started 18 of their last 21 games. Took a little while maybe to convince the manager, but he has certainly played very well this season. There's Adams with a throw, with the header in from the throw-in on the Southampton left-hand side. Once again, it's Brighton who get to the loose ball. Ben White clears it up to Connolly, tried to chest it back to Gross. It broke away initially for a Southampton player, but it's picked up here by Solly March, right in front of the Brighton fans on the far side. Then the East Stand, the lower tier on the far side. That's where most of them are.
That's where Connolly has to be a lot neater. Hold it in, take a touch. He gave the ball away too easily off his chest, and they got lucky. Brighton. Armstrong took a heavy touch, and Brighton were breaking out. But that's part of his game, Glenn. I think he can improve on.
It looked like a handball.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think that his back to goal games comes so easily to him. He'd rather be running onto the ball into the opposition half. But yeah, something he can work on as a young professional.
Djenepo for Southampton ran into a forest of legs. Lewis Dunk stepped out to play it to Pascal Gross. He tried a big expansive ball, bending down the right hand touchline. Out of play it goes, but immediately Graham Potter reacted by applauding the attention of Pascal Gross, the German from Mannheim, under 20 international. Never went beyond that. Cool as cucumber when he slotted in the penalty the other day, late on, somewhat controversial.
It was a dive, wasn't it?
Oh, well, I heard you talking about that. Didn't he? Didn't get your Simulator of the week?
Simulation, not simulator. Simulation.
Simulation game. He was the worst culprit that week, wasn't he? Now, I'll come on to that in a minute, because here's Walker Peters into the penalty. He looks to the right-hand side, and Theo Walcott, it's offside decision. That's a great little feature, actually, of 606. I love that feature.
Yeah, Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish's dive last Monday. Not jumping Jack, diving Jack.
Well, the thing is, you always seem to agree with Robbie. That's the main thing. There's never a word of disagreement between the two of you, is there, over that matter?
But it's an interesting debate, isn't it, this diving debate? I mean, did you think Danny Welbeck needed to go down?
I thought it was a penalty.
Well, that wasn't the question.
I thought there was impact and he went down off balance.
And no. Blimey.
So there you are. I've seen worse. I've seen far worse.
That isn't the point. You're trying to worm your way out of it now.
Oh, come on. You're better than that, Chris, to coin a phrase. It's a throw to Brighton on the left-hand side. At least you haven't regaled me this week over questions over German painters or sculptors. What was it last time we were here? Yeah. Put me to shame. Brighton on the attack. Conley into the penalty area. Looks for Welbeck. Oh, now that bounced up along the arm of Ward-Prowse. It's a penalty to Brighton and Hove Albion. It's a penalty to Brighton, and the Southampton bench, well, Ralph Hasenhüttl has just turned to the assistant referee and said, that's unbelievable. But 24 minutes gone, it rolled along the arm of Ward-Prowse. The throw-in comes in. Good interchange between Connolly and Welbeck, and his arm went up and he pushed it away.
I mean, it's an unfortunate one from James Ward-Prowse, but it does hit him on the hand. It's a throw into Connolly, who hooks it over his shoulder. The ball goes up in the air. Welbeck flicks the ball up, and James Ward-Prowse's hand is above his head. It's in what we would describe not the expected position, an unnatural position, and I think quite right to award the penalty. What an opportunity for Brighton.
Pascal Gross has scored 9 penalties of the 11 he has taken for Brighton and Hove Albion, and pensively looks at the goalkeeper, focused, arms low down by his side, right foot slightly ahead of the left. He's 3 or 4 yards away from an angled run up here. Gross wrong foots the goalkeeper. McCarthy dived to his right hand side. Gross put it to the left. Beautiful penalty, actually, and Brighton lead Southampton 1-0 on 5 black.
Perfect. Pascal steps up, drills the ball to McCarthy's left hand side. McCarthy dives right. Confident penalty, Glenn.
Yeah, definitely. A little stutter at the start, and then just drilled it into the right hand side of the net. A little bit of a difficult penalty, having one at the end of last week's game, but yeah, put that away with aplomb, and Brighton 1-0 up here.
Says a man who scored 30 penalties, I think, in his career. Scored the last 4 that I commentated on anyway. Glenn Murray. I'm delighted to have him in the commentary box with Chris and myself here. We are socially distanced, by the way. Glenn's about 10 yards behind us, and
that's the way I like it with you.
Well, that's right, actually. I've actually asked them to move you to the fans on the far side, the eastern stand, and they wouldn't do it. It's going to be a throw to Brighton. Goal, are they deservedly ahead, Chris?
Well, it's been quite a tight affair, hasn't it?
I think they've definitely created the better opportunities. Pascal Gross, the one into the box, and Danny Welbeck in the middle of the box.
There's Dan Byrne looking for him. Tell him to sit down, Chris. We can't see. He sat down again. Remember that game we did earlier on the season? He was listening to every word we said.
The giraffe-like figure.
It's a nightmare here, isn't it? Just behind the bench. I've always said it's a strong bench at Brighton.
6'19", Dan Byrne, isn't he? When he stood up, we couldn't see anything. But anyway, he's sat down now, and it's going to be a throw to Southampton, about 20 yards out from the dead ball line, left-hand side, and Ryan Bertrand will take it. European champion from his days with Chelsea, and he'll take this throw in. Much travelled when he was a Chelsea player, out on loan 8 times, found his spiritual home now and dumped to the ground as Ben White came to meet it. Just sometimes he looks like a centre-back playing in that midfield role. He's trotted back now to take up an orthodox centre-back position alongside Webster and Dunk at the heart of that Brighton penalty area. Southampton prepared to take this free kick then, a yard in from this near side. Ryan Bertrand with the red number 3 on his white shirt, and just rolls the ball away to his left, and James Ward-Prowse is there. What a terrific delivery of a set piece he is.
Absolutely. This Ward-Prowse all day long, this out on the left hand side for Southampton.
Steps back 4 paces, runs over it. It's Bertrand who swings it away. Then a player's gone down inside that penalty area. Was it Vestergaard who went down in the penalty area? Or, yes, it was. He's looking now towards the referee plaintively as if to say, what happened there? I was held as I made my run, but it's going to be a throw anyway to Southampton on the right-hand side. And David Coote, the referee's having none of it, but he is now. He's given a free kick to the Saints. And rather a needless free kick given away by Danny Welbeck on the Southampton right-hand side as he bundled into Kyle Walker-Peters. And it's going to be a free kick to Southampton, trying to come back into this game. The Saints, they have a terrific record against Brighton, unbeaten in their past 7 matches against the Seagulls, winning 3, drawing 4. They won 3 on the spin here in all competitions. They won twice last season, one in the league and in the League Cup. It was a 1-1 draw at St Mary's, and it's going to be a free kick here, which presumably would look for Vestergaard. Bednarak is up there as well, the other centre back, and it's going to be curling away from goal, you'd think, from here by James Ward-Prowse. Yes, it is. He takes it right-footed, floats it in, looking for Vestergaard, who heads it across the penalty area, and it's volleyed away from the popular figure of Basumi. Heads it forward there. Connolly, a little knock on towards Lamptey, and Lamptey's off and running here, right in the heart of Southampton territory, and Lamptey takes it to the edge of the penalty and tries to cross it. Well, perhaps it hits him on the chest. It's a corner kick, and there you have the power of Tariq Lamptey on the counter, and applause from the fans. And Graham Potter spun around 360 degrees down there in the technical area and applauded the supporters back as well. He wants to hear more noise from them, but he got a fair amount of it, and a promising break there, Chris.
Yeah, it's an important block from Ward-Prowse. He's lightning, isn't he, Lamptey, over those first few yards, and it got away down the right-hand side, trying to pick out Connolly at the far post. Ward-Prowse blocked across. Another chance for Brighton from the corner. Left-footed in-swinger, Solly March.
Chilly evening at the Amex on the South Downs, just outside Brighton. In comes the free kick for March. It's a wicked one. Swinging in, McCarthy punched it away, headed back forward by Gross. Dunk still in the penalty area. Flag had to go up, surely. Does so belatedly, and Hassan little shrugs, little frustrated shrug, as if to say, why didn't the flag go up earlier? Because of course it's the application now, and that's what they're told to do, to keep the flag down. Are you a fan of that, Glenn, actually?
I think it's a difficult one, really, because everyone needs to stay on their toes. I think when we first saw it introduced, people were getting caught out with it a little bit, but the players seem to be getting used to it now, and everyone goes until the whistle goes now. So it's people are getting used to it.
Glenn Murray from Maryport in Cumbria. I remember first time I mentioned that in a commentary, and someone said to me afterwards, where's Maryport in Cumbria? And I said, I haven't got the faintest idea.
So let me assure you, it's a long way, Jonathan.
Is it a teeming metropolis? Is it massive? Is it huge?
It's got the beautiful Lake District in it.
That's how Brighton attack builds up. Welbeck whipped it away towards the centre of the Southampton penalty. They clear it away. Webster follows up. Siphons it away towards that left-hand side. Basuma's out there. He crosses into the penalty area. Southampton again hard pressed. The ball is knocked down towards Pascal Gross, and he's volleyed it high and over that Southampton bar. But they're creating here, and Southampton are wobbling a little bit, Chris.
Yeah, Basuma out on the left-hand touchline, shifts it on his right foot, and it's a looping cross. Welbeck comes off his shoulder, and with his back to goal, it drops to Gross, who he just gets under it. I don't know whether he was expecting it, and it goes high over the crossbar. Half a chance for Brighton.
Southampton have the ball inside their penalty area, trying to play out from about Bednarak. Danish international way towards the right full-back Walker-Peters, as they try and play up. Basuma's won it very, very strongly against Armstrong, and Brighton the better team at the moment, and Southampton can't get anything on the ball, and Basuma, little dummy, and the fans on that far side absolutely loved it. And March finds Basuma, and there are 3 in the middle to hit. Gross hanging a little bit deep, but Pascal Gross, if he can pull it back, he's run to the dead ball line, tried to pull it back, but he was well challenged in there. The fans crying for another penalty. They weren't going to get one for that, but it was a fair challenge. Instead, Southampton have a free kick for the foul on Walker-Peters. 5 live from BBC. The ball's ended up in the Southampton net after the free kick was given. That's why you heard the cheers from the fans. 32 minutes gone, Brighton 1, Southampton 0. The thoughts of Chris Sutton?
Yeah, I think Brighton have been the better team, as you just mentioned. There's just seemed to be a little bit more aggressive than Southampton. Got to the ball first. Southampton haven't really found their rhythm at this moment in time. It's been a case where you couldn't say it too many times this season with this Southampton side. Just wonder, the last game, the loss against Manchester United, the manner of the defeat, whether it's affected them in this opening half hour or so.
That ended a very good run of 7 games without defeat. They went top of the table, of course. Southampton, this could take them back 5th if they can win, but they're behind. Bertrand with a cross in the middle, and it's shoveled away back there. Joel Veltman for a corner kick for Southampton on their left-hand side. And Ward-Prowse will be interested in this one to swing it into towards the near post. And Brighton, curiously, a team with very big defenders, haven't got a great record at defending set pieces, and it is a worry for some of the Seagulls fans. It's going to be a corner kick taken on this left end, away some 60 yards to our left hand side as we sit low down in the West Stand. Ward-Prowse takes it, and Ryan comes and punches it up into the air. The ball plops back towards Gineppo, heads it into the box. Dunk is there again, tall and commanding. Comes out to Gineppo, little header forward towards Che Adams. Che Adams 2 yards outside the penalty area, left hand side. Good clean ball away to Armstrong. Armstrong right footed, levers it back left again as they switch, and it's easily dealt with by Brighton, but Basuma's clearance was blocked by James Ward-Prowse, hit him on the nose actually, and it's away for a throw in here for Brighton. Connolly wanted to take it quickly. He's a feisty lad, isn't he, Aaron Connolly, Glenn? He'll battle through one or two things. He's got a little bit spiky there.
Yeah, I think it was Bertrand came past and just tried to knock the ball out of his hands, and he didn't like it. He took offence to it. But yeah, he'll go up against anyone. He's a feisty little Irish guy, and I think that shows how far he's come.
Comes from Galway. He's not much of him. He's only 5'9", but he'll stand up against anyone, Aaron Connolly. Needs a goal, I think. Badly needs a goal. Southampton certainly badly need one today with 10 minutes left in this half.
Yeah, Brighton really pushing for a second in the last few minutes. Seem to have the hold of the game.
10 points for Brighton, the lowest at this stage of a Premier League campaign. They lost 3 of their opening 4 league fixtures, but they were up against very good teams in that spell. And they certainly went to close here at home to Chelsea, and deserved more a game against Manchester United when they lost 3-2.
We did the first game of the season here, didn't we, against Chelsea?
Yep, we did.
Thoroughly enjoyed that evening with you, Jonathan. But they were unlucky in that game. Chelsea didn't find the rhythm. Brighton got back level, didn't they? And then the screamer from Reece James, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was an absolute belter. Came back here on the Thursday night for a League Cup game, and it was absolutely freezing. Portsmouth, that was, which they won comfortably. Oh, and I thoroughly enjoyed working with you as well, Chris, on that first game. I forgot to add that comment. Southampton have possession with Theo Walker on loan back at his formative club.
We just, in an attacking sense, haven't seen enough from Walcott, and Adams barely had a touch. Ben White sitting in front of the back 3. And Bissouma making it very difficult for Southampton to get the balls into Adams and Walcott.
2,000, the crowd sound like a lot more. It's a very acoustic stadium, built very cleverly as it nestles into the downs. They had to be very eco-friendly with the build. It's a throw here to Brighton, well won by Lewis Dunk, who's wearing the Rainbow Captain's armband, part of the Stonewall Rainbow Laces campaign. Players invited to wear rainbow laces in their boots in the campaign for all equality and to make football environment a safer environment for everyone, regardless of sexuality. And here's Che Adams down that left hand side. Poor cross into the middle, blocked by Tarek Lamptey with his garish lime green boots. They're a blur when he moves forward, but here's James Ward-Prowse moving forward for Southampton, finds Walker-Peters inside the penalty, checks out wide, gets the cross in, and it's blocked by Webster, and in the end leave it out by Lewis Dunk. Brighton through and through. Lewis Dunk, 315 games for the club. He joined as a boy. Dad was a very decent footballer in this area as well, and watches him home and away. A really well-known family and his dad's in construction these days. Southampton in possession with Gineppo on the left-hand side, rolls it back then towards Ward-Prowse. Prowse has it for Southampton. Ward-Prowse, square of him is Jan Bednarak. Bednarak advances outside the centre circle and plays it back into the centre circle to Vestergaard. Vestergaard low and through the middle, and that's easy really for Veltman to get it away, and it's a free kick here for a little nudge by a frustrated Armstrong down below us on the touchline on Gross.
It's still just not happening for Southampton. Credit to Brighton, superbly organised at the back, and Ryan's had very little to do this evening.
Not a shot to save.
Yeah, just racking my brains. Yeah, nothing at all.
We'll take this free kick though. From Plumpton, not Plumpton, Sussex, which is just around the corner, but Plumpton, New South Wales. Headed away powerfully by Vestergaard, the man signed from Borussia Mönchengladbach, and here's Romeo. Romeo finds in the centre circle then Armstrong, and out wide towards the right hand side. Walker-Peters is over there. Walker-Peters checks back on the ball, rolls it to Armstrong, ambles into space beyond Bissouma's lunge of a challenge, which wasn't particularly strong or determined. Bertrand has it left hand corner of the box. Pink boots the Southampton player has on tonight. Armstrong's come to this side and takes on Bissouma, who goes to ground. Did enough, and Brighton mop it up and cleared away. Veltman to Gross, and he cleared to the halfway line where it didn't stick. Southampton have it back. Romeo 25 yards out from goal, centre of the field, finds Theo Walcott. Walcott attacks the penalty, drives in the shot, and it's wide from Theo Walcott, determined to regain the form of his England pomp. He had abdominal surgery actually during the first lockdown, Theo Walcott, but he's back to fitness and trying to find the form of those previous days. Half time you'll hear from Gareth Southgate, so I've just been told, on England's 2022 World Cup group. It was drawn today. They're in with Poland, Hungary, Andorra, San Marino and Albania, and they will be favourites to come out of that group. If they don't, there'll be questions asked, that's for sure. Sonny March for Brighton. This is a good build-up. Finds Connolly left hand side of the penalty area and stolen off his toes by Jan Bednarak.
That's when I think Connolly's at his best. That movement down the side of the centre half into the channel, but again he's got to be cuter with this hold-up play. Get his body in, take a touch, take a hit at times when you team a free kick, or link the play.
Thought he'd won a penalty, didn't he, in that Manchester United game, but VAR overturned it. Gineppo for Southampton. There's a lovely ball out to him. He's attacking the Brighton box here between the touchline and the penalty area. He goes into that penalty area now and loops the cross through, and away and out it goes for a Brighton throw on the far side. Glenn, you must be pleased with your former team. 40 minutes gone.
Yeah, I think we'll be very happy this evening with I would say what is an informed Southampton team coming, even though they did lose their last game against Manchester United. I would say that I think 3 wins in their last 4. I would imagine that counts as an informed Southampton team that probably came here fancying themselves, and I think Brighton have without doubt been the better team and created more opportunities in this first half.
This is good work by Armstrong for Southampton down the right hand side, tried to go wide of Ben White to turn with him blocked and forces the throw in Brighton's way. He's a very promising youngster. He came from Southampton, I think, 4 years ago. Ben White, he was born along the coast in Poole and didn't get much of a chance at Southampton as a youngster. Came to Brighton and didn't get much of a chance here, so they sent him out on loan once or twice, and notably to Leeds last season, where he played a massive role in their promotion.
They wanted him back, didn't they, Leeds?
They did.
They wanted him bad.
Were prepared to pay big money for him, and Brighton said no, no, and no again. Southampton had released him as a 16-year-old, and now he's worth, what, in excess of 20 million, they say. Here's Romeo. Ward-Prowse saw the ball early on. Good ball round the corner. Gineppo now rolls it towards Walcott. Walcott slipped and tripped as he went into the penalty area and stumbled, and the chance was gone, and Brighton clear away towards Welbeck. Welbeck steals it away, got in front of Bednarak, and now slips wide to the left hand side, and Connolly here, 5 low from the BBC, 3 minutes to go in the half, and comes across from Connolly looking for Welbeck, and Southampton deal with it very, very easily.
He got a bit lucky initially. Danny Welbeck tried to play it round the corner first time into Connolly. A soft touch. They got the ball back, and then he played it to Connolly, who missed his first touch. A 2v1 for a second, and eventually it came to nothing.
2 minutes left in the half. I've just seen a signal from down pitch side that we'll have a minute of stoppage time. We'll wait until that's confirmed for you. The match manager down there was signalling a 1, and now here's Armstrong for the Saints. They've had a lot of ball in the last 10 or 15 minutes, Southampton, and here comes Carl Walker-Peters, pulls it back to Ward-Prowse, who can change the game in a blink of an eye, of course, and Bertrand's been advancing down this left-hand side purposefully as well. Gineppo's outside of him, doesn't need him, in comes the cross, all the way through it goes to Armstrong. This could be an equaliser here for Southampton. The shot is blocked though, and away it goes off Solly March for Southampton. Corner kick, but they're getting stronger for me, Chris, Southampton.
Yeah, I think the last 8-10 minutes have put Brighton under a great deal of pressure as the cross goes all the way through to Armstrong from left to right. Solly March does his job. Important Brighton get through to half-time ahead.
Should have beaten West Bromwich Albion here at home when they led, and they had a very poor second half, Brighton, and the Baggies took a point away in the end. Southampton looking to equalise here. Last minute of the first half, Ward-Prowse swings the corner kick away, and they have equalised. It's a terrific goal. Vestergaard with a powerful header. Brighton 1, Southampton 1. A beautiful header from an out-swinging corner kick. Boost from the Brighton fans on the far side. Very, very well executed free kick, and Vestergaard's 3rd of the season.
Well, great header from the Great Dane. Towering header. Leaps on the penalty spot. It's an out-swinging corner, and he gets up and heads it back across Ryan, who has no chance. It's a stunning header, loops into the far corner. You could argue if there was a man on the post, probably would have cleared it, but take nothing away from Vestergaard's header. It has to generate the power and direction. That's one you would have been proud of, Glenn.
That was a fantastic header, wasn't it, Chris? I mean, that's exactly the danger for Brighton there. Southampton set piece taker, Ward-Prowse on the corner with a fantastic corner in, and then the main man that's going to win the header for them, and he gets there, Vestergaard, and what a fantastic header back across Matty Ryan into the far stick, and he runs away celebrating to the Brighton fans in the corner.
I think on the balance of the last 10 minutes that's richly deserved, but Glenn, it's another set piece goal conceded by your old team.
Yeah, I think they'll be disappointed. I think on the balance of the whole half, Brighton have been the better team, but like we say, Southampton are growing into it, and I think that's going to continue to happen, especially in the second half when I expect to see the introduction of Danny Ings.
A free kick here for Brighton. Vestergaard went through Connolly. Southampton coach is going off
a soft free kick. Yeah. I have to say, I think Connolly took another poor touch. I'd like to see it again, but my initial feeling was they get a bit fortunate with this award, and we can see Ralph and friends aren't happy. Who would want to be a 4th official?
And it's Graham Scott is getting it in the ear down there, the 4th official. The protests continue as Brighton prepare to take this free kick now. We're in that stoppage time at the end of the first half. We've had more than a minute of stoppage time, and it comes from Gross, last attack of the half, and it's met at the far post. Webster coming in, and he slams it wide. It was awkward, but he got beyond the Southampton defence, and it's a goal kick. But a terrific first half here of stretch football at either end, and it's 1-1. Gross putting Brighton ahead from the penalty spot, and then a terrific header from Vestergaard. What have you made of it all, the first 45, Chris?
But you know what, I think that Brighton has started the game better. They got the goal through a penalty. I think it was the correct award. But you have to say, I think Southampton came into the game more 10 minutes before half-time. I think the nature of the goal will be a massive disappointment to Graham Potter. You mentioned the weakness from set plays, but Brighton will feel slightly unlucky to go in level, Glenn.
Yeah, I think they will, especially conceding so late on in the half, and I mean, Southampton didn't create too much in that first half there, and to let another set-piece goal in, I'm sure Brighton will be very disappointing, but 1-1 at half-time, it's all to play for in the second half.
That's a scoreline at half-time, chappers. It's Brighton 1, Southampton 1. Thanks very much, chappers. One significant piece of news we can give you. Danny Ings is going to come on for Southampton, and he has replaced Musa Gineppo. He's been missing, of course, with a little bit of a knee problem, and on he comes then, having had that fantastic season last season with his 25 goals, and immediately will carry that threat to that Brighton defence. Once again, Brighton failed to hold on to a lead. In their blue and white, they kick us off and underway in the second half, kicking then from right to left-hand side from right to left, and immediately it's cleared away by Romeo. So Brighton have Ryan in goal, and they have Tariq Lamptey, the right wing-back, Solly March, the left wing-back, Feltman, Dunk and Webster. And in midfield, White, Bissouma and Gross and Welbeck and Connolly, who've certainly carried a threat, especially in the opening 20 minutes. And Southampton all in white with the red sash, with McCarthy in goal, Walker, Peters, Bednarek, Vestergaard and Ryan Bertrand at back four. And in midfield you've got Armstrong, Ward-Prowse, Romeo, Che Adams and Danny Ings up front, and Theo Walcott presumably. Chris, it's gone out wide to that left-hand side, yeah?
Yeah, he's slotted out, playing narrow off that left-hand side. Really get the width from Bertrand, the marauding fullback. Be interesting to see how sharp Danny Ings is. Just been training it a few days, but what a season he had last season. He's Southampton's main man,
and really deserved the accolades he got last season. Danny Ings is approaching 100 goals in his career, but it's Brighton approaching the Southampton penalty area, and a free kick is given here against Romeo, who's yellow carded for bundling Pascal Gross down to the ground. Was it a necessary challenge, Chris? Because he's never going to get away from you, Pascal Gross. He's not got the pace to get away from anyone, so did he need to make the challenge?
No, I think you're spot on. Interesting one, Glenn, isn't it? Because he doesn't win the ball, and this is dangerous territory now for Brighton.
I think the challenge needed to be made. I understand that Pascal probably isn't going to get away from him, but I think he was just about to play that possible killer pass through to Danny Welbeck, which may have put him in on goal for Brighton.
The free kick here, it's, I'd say, 12 yards outside the penalty area. Gross stands to the right of the ball. Solly March is trotted away, so it is going to be Pascal Gross, who loves a set piece, but can Brighton score from one? They failed to defend against one again. Webster's on his toes. Dunk tries to make the run. It's aimed at Webster. He's in behind. Good defending in the end. And there was a push in there on Danny Ings, I think, by Webster, but Brighton are appealing themselves. It's a free kick anyway for Southampton.
Yeah, it's just a strange setup from Southampton, because they go to the zonal, and it's a foul from Ings, or on Ings, who gets back well just in front of Webster. But Ben White was free at the far post. Had there been a bit more height on the cross, all alone, but Ings did well.
Away goes the goal kick, or the free kick I should say, towards Che Adams. Flicks it on, looking for Ings. Webster rises. And we've played, a couple of minutes in this second half. And it's still 1-1 on 5 Live from the BBC. Quickly taking free kick, Bertrand. Walcott gets a cross in, looking for Che Adams. And Brighton will get it away. The last thing I did, before we came back on air, George, our producer, gave me a chocolate biscuit. And what you don't want to do as a broadcaster is eat any chocolate when you're broadcasting. And now I can't stop coughing, Chris.
Is that to go with the last cup of coffee you got there, Jonathan?
Yeah, I got the last cup of coffee. It's pace off the mark that counts, Glenn Murray. That's the thing.
Yeah, but the amazing thing about that last cup of coffee is you have a flask of coffee as well, and me and Glenn went without.
I did offer, and in the end I gave it away to Warren, who reports on BBC Radio Sussex.
With the greatest respect, I couldn't care less about Warren.
I said, Chris, do you want the coffee? But as you're not speaking to me at the moment, you didn't want it. Anyway, here's Vestergaard on the outside. A good run here by Southampton, by Vestergaard, looking for Walker. In comes the cross. Oh, it's a prod of a cross, so tentative after really good work by the centre half there, Chris.
Yep, marauding forward as Welbeck nearly in. Bednarek had to be really switched on. You can see Southampton have started the second half pretty well. Confident after getting the leveller just before the break.
It's a raw, cold December night down on the south coast. It was foggy earlier on here today. I guess it'll be foggy later on. Wherever you are tonight, driving around, essential travel, and be careful because from the weather forecast I think there's going to be widespread fog. Here's March for Brighton. 5 live from the BBC, 1-1 Brighton Southampton. March pokes it down the line looking for Connolly. He checks the assistant referee. The flag has stayed down. He rolls it back up the line here to Webster. Webster, little dink ball into the penalty area, scooped up in the air by Gross. Welbeck will chase for it, and Lamptey's in there very, very quickly. The goalkeeper was committed, and Lamptey at full stretch couldn't make anything of it in the end. But goodness me, he has some pace. That's searing pace again to get in there.
Yes, it was, and McCarthy gets fortunate. As the ball clipped in from Webster into Gross, who just helps the ball on right-footed inside, and Lamptey steaming down the right-hand side. McCarthy came into no man's land. Unfortunate for Southampton, get away with it.
March heads it back towards the edge of the penalty area, and there's a challenge there that leaves Danny Welbeck down. He rose in the air with Jan Bednarek and got a cloud on the top of his head that he's in his shoulder. It's his right shoulder, and the referee has stopped it. He's checked with his assistant on the far side, Darren Cann. Aaron Connolly is frantically waving the Brighton physiotherapist onto the field of play, but at the moment the referee is keeping him in check.
Holding his shoulder, Danny Welbeck.
Oh, it's a painful one.
It's a sore one. In fairness, myself and Glenn have been in a similar situation many, many times. I think both players' eyes are on the ball, and Bednarek gets there first. Welbeck had jumped as well, and that's just an unfortunate collision.
Yeah, good to see Danny Welbeck up on his feet there, especially after his injuries troubles over the past few years. But he's back up and he's ready to continue with the game.
Just really getting going in terms of form at Arsenal. When he broke his ankle, it was a terrible break. Was out for a year, and then got released, went up to Watford, and now he's a Brighton Hove Albion player. And here's Bissouma, who angles a pass to the left-hand side of the Brighton midfield. 1-1, and off and running goes Solly March. He's so purposeful this season, Solly March, in this wing-back role, but Armstrong went all the way with him and did ever so well there. Stuart Armstrong, what an improvement in Stuart Armstrong over the last couple of years. When he first moved down from Celtic, there was something a bit tentative about him, but he really has blossomed.
I think you're being a bit harsh on him. He was a good player when he moved down, but I think the fact of the matter is he didn't play enough games, but we're seeing what a good player he is now.
Terrific at Celtic, wasn't it? Now Welbeck out wide towards the right-hand side. Solly March has it. Solly March bends across him looking for Connolly. Well dealt with by Vestergaard. Comes that hit to Bissouma, the big hit. Blocked by Danny Welbeck, and behind him was Aaron Connolly, and had Connolly left it and Welbeck gone on, they might have had a chance, but Connolly touched it, and therefore the flag went up offside.
Do you know what? This will be a really interesting one, because you're spot on. Jonathan, Welbeck does well initially, pops the ball out to the left-hand side. Solly March gets the cross in. Vestergaard heads it out. Bissouma shoots into the floor. Welbeck, who takes the touch, was onside, and Connolly should have got out of his way. That would have been a golden opportunity.
And we're seeing a close-up of Neil Maupay, who's sitting down in front of us. He's 5 rows in front of us in the substitutes seats. Is he a willing learner, Connolly, Glenn? Could you say to him after the game, for example, in the dressing room, look, you know, this is what you should have done or shouldn't have done? Will he listen? Will he respond very easily?
Yeah, listen, it's got to be at the right moment in time. After a game, emotions maybe run a little bit high, but when I was at the club, I tried to work with him on a daily basis and just encourage him as much as anything, and I think as a young man you do get frustrated. He would get frustrated quite a lot, but I would try and help him and tell him what to do, just as Pascal Gross puts a cross into the box and McCarthy plucks it out of the air with ease.
Yeah, it was a decent cross by Pascal Gross. Couldn't get a real run in the side here at all. last season, Pascal Gross. Remember his first campaign down at Brighton, he scored decisive goals in 17-18, scored decisive goals the following season. I remember a very late penalty here that helped keep Brighton up. And they haven't scrambled their way to survival in recent seasons. A bit closer last season, but they need wins, and they're up against a very good Southampton side tonight, as we've seen already this season. A team that is very capable of scoring goals and very capable of getting decent wins. Terrific performance away at Chelsea to get the draw, away at Wolves to get the draw, and here they're drawing again 1-1. The wind has begun to stir. It's going to be a throw to Brighton, and Solly March will take it. 9-10 minutes gone now in the second half on 5 Live. And here's Welbeck to angle it back to Bissouma. Bissouma ran into a brick wall called Oriol Romeo, and it's cleared away to the halfway line. Dunk is here, finds Webster. Webster pursued and pressurised by Armstrong. Good challenge by Armstrong. Oh, and Adams was caught there by Lewis Dunk. It was a little bit late, and Ralph Hasenhüttl points an accusing finger at Lewis Dunk, who has a word back at the Southampton manager. Doesn't really need to get involved in opposition players like that, but it was a poor challenge, and I think it was a deserved caution, Chris.
Yeah, and the situation was Armstrong nicks the ball off Webster, and Adams is trying to hit a crossfield ball. Theo Walcott would have been in on the left hand side, and Dunk, totally committed, goes to ground, catches Adams, and I think yellow card, the correct decision.
Coming at 10, by the way, we've got Mike Costello and Bunsey with their special guest Anthony Joshua. Start of fight week. Joshua against Cooper Pullum at the weekend. That is live on 5 Live.
Think he's got a good chance, Jonathan?
Yes. Bunsey, you mean, or Joshua? I don't think if Bunsey takes on Joshua. You never know, though. You never know. Talk's a good fight, doesn't it? And known him a long time. This would be a great programme. And tomorrow night, Leipzig against Manchester United. It's a game Manchester United can't afford to lose. A draw will send them through. Latest on Chelsea Krasnodar. Wednesday we've got Manchester City against Marseille for you in the Champions League. And a big clearance away by Alex McCarthy in his cerise goalkeeping garb, I think you would call that colour. Not too sure. Not up on fashion, Chris, as you probably have gathered. Here's Kyle Walker-Peters now, 10 yards in from the right-hand touchline, pulls it back then towards Ward-Prowse, out to the right-hand touchline. Armstrong gives it back in to Walker-Peters, 10 yards to his left-hand side he was, with the orange boots, and he finds the commanding figure of Vestergaard. He's a big lighthouse back there, isn't he, for Southampton at 6'6". The man who scored their equaliser. Bertrand has it now from Vestergaard, but they're going nowhere, and that's all mainly down to the Brighton shape. Vestergaard now turns it around the corner to Romeo, and Romeo slips it back to Benrick. But this is all good pressure by Brighton, forcing them all the way back in the end to their goalkeeper, and Graham Potter loved that down below us. Seemed a very nice man in that chat to Fletch and Jermaine Genius on Friday. Listen to that on BBC Sounds again. It is really well worth the listen to hear about his alternative philosophies in football. Throw to Brighton now. 57 minutes gone. And it's about 20 metres from goal, I would say. And it's going to be taken by Adam Webster. He started 26 of the last 28 league games. And Brighton fans will say there's a mistake in him in a lot of the games, but he's a young man learning the trade still. Came from not far along the coast in Sussex, in West Sussex, in Chichester. Connolly, Bissouma, lovely ball scooped forward by Bissouma. He's played well for Brighton, but it's away and out of play. It's too tight to the line for that ball. Throw to Southampton.
Yeah, I like Bissouma. Combative player, strong in the tackle, but he can play as well.
Started all but 3 of their last 21 games, and he was suspended during that time for his sending off at Newcastle, which was a red card offence, but it was unfortunate for him. Really, there's no intent, I don't think. Oh, that's a good little flick on there by Ings, and look at the pace here of Armstrong. Finds Walcott inside left position, veering back into the centre position, just outside the D, and a great effort as well that goes wide. Good build-up by Southampton, a big chance there.
Yes, it was. Lovely touch from Ings to release Armstrong from the right-hand side. He pops the ball to Theo Walcott, left-hand side of the box. shifts it on his right foot, and he's not far away there, Glenn, from 18 yards, just past the post.
Just couldn't get the curl on he desired, and he had Matty Ryan at full stretch, but I don't think he would have had it covered if it was on the inside of that post, but luckily for Brighton it just landed on the outside.
Vestergaard now for Southampton. If they win this, by the way, they would move to 1,000 points in the Premier League. The 11th side to reach that figure. And they're steaming forward now with the ball out wide towards the left-hand side. Bertrand across into the penalty area. Easy. I am. What happened was a BT engineer was so astonished at the stat I just produced, he probably cut the line. We're okay now, though.
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, there you are. It's going to be a corner kick for Southampton. You haven't missed anything. 61 minutes gone. Brighton 1, Southampton 1. And the corner will be taken by Ward-Prowse on that left-hand side then for Southampton. Romeo's in there. Ings is in there. Che Adams is in the goalkeeper's come and punched and pushes it away. Not greatly far, though. Armstrong back into the mix. Danger, Ings! Lovely striker's header that. Got in front of his marker. Not the tallest man, of course, but twisted and got his header on goal.
No, Glenn will tell you, it's always on the move, Danny Ings. And as Armstrong whipped the ball in from the right-hand side, Ings across Webster. He's just behind him a little bit, long way out, 12 yards, tried to head it back over Ryan, but straight at him.
Walcott looking for Ings again. He cost them 22 million after the loan spell.
We're going to see Neil Mopay. He's stripped.
And he joined Brighton of Albion, started last season for 20 million from Brentford. And one or two Brighton fans said to me at the time, well, why can't the Seagulls go in for Ings? But Ings had his heart set on Southampton. That's his boyhood club. It's going to be a throw then to Brighton and Hove Albion. About 18 minutes of the second half. It's 1-1. March will take it. They pick up points steadily, but they're hovering around the wrong end of the table. Southampton would see this as a decent point, but would want the 3 and dunk down the line. Conley cups his body, takes it neatly, finds March down the left-hand touchline, checks back onto his right foot, dummied the cross against Walker-Peters. Armstrong doubling up with Walker-Peters, and the two of them did well enough in the end, and maybe Chrissy could have moved the ball quicker there a wee bit as Brighton prepared to make this substitution, and Mopay is going to come on for them, and Aaron Connolly is going to go off. Let's go to Glenn actually here and ask him about Neil Mopay. What do you think of Neil's performances so far for Brighton, Glenn?
Yeah, I think he's done really well. He's obviously transitioned into the Premier League really well from the Championship, like we just mentioned there, coming from Brentford for a hefty amount of money. I think we've been quite reliant on him, and I think Danny Welbeck's taken that struggle off his shoulders a little bit, and I think we'll be able to see much more of Neil getting on the ball. And I'm not sure if he's an out-and-out number 9. He likes to drop down into the 10 space. He likes to link the play, but he's obviously shown in the past season that he can finish as well. So he's an exciting player that I expect to keep improving.
Dobman for Brighton, centre circle, pushed out by Basuma. Webster thought about careering down the left-hand side, has lost possession though. A few groans from the Brighton fans on the far stand and the east stand, and Romeo, as he tried to prod the pass to Armstrong, has overplayed it, and Basuma tracks back for Brighton and finds Matty Ryan, who balloons the clearance out towards this near side. Mopay digging in at his man Danny Ings. He's not certainly shy of physicality, Neil Mopay, who'll mix it with centre-backs.
Yeah, he's a feisty character, isn't he?
I think he will hold the ball up maybe a little bit better than it's been held up tonight. I think he will give Brighton that structure to be able to build off when the ball goes into the front.
And Aaron Connolly has come to the back of the substitutes area. He's sitting no more than 5 or 6 feet in front of us now. Hasn't put his tracksuit top on yet, having been substituted. Here's Gross now for Brighton. We've had 65 minutes. It's 1-1, but Brighton are just beginning to get the upper hand again, and that's a lovely ball whipped out by Gross towards Tarek Lamptey, attacks the Southampton penalty area. Not a great cross in, bounces back to him. Lamptey finds Gross in support. He got underneath it and lifts it over, but a good move by Brighton. Work again by Tarek Lamptey down that right hand side.
Yeah, applause from Graham Potter in his technical area. Wonderful pass initially from Gross to release Lamptey down the right hand side. His first cross was poor, rebounds back to Lamptey, he just pops it to Gross, who's running onto the ball 16 yards out, just inside the box, and he balloons it over the bar. Half a chance for Brighton.
I think Walcott did just enough to put Pascal Gross off there with that shot. He was just tracking back behind him, and I think Pascal could just feel him in his eye line, and it seemed to put him off, and he ballooned the ball over the bar.
Prowse has just sliced the clearance out to those Brighton fans on that far stand, and it's going to be a throw in to Brighton, and it's taken quickly in towards Bissouma. Bissouma has possession, got in there quickly in front of the Southampton player, but the pass was inaccurate, and then another slice clearance, this time by Ryan Bertrand, and Brighton have a throw in. And it is great to hear supporters with the irony and the banter and the humour. Not if you're Ryan Bertrand.
Yeah, exactly.
In comes the throw, looking for Neil Maupay. Maupay, he had a chance to shoot. He's rolled it to Solly March. Solly March does shoot, but falling off the ball, it was always going to go one way, and that was out wide as Stuart Armstrong came in and did good work to close.
Yeah, eventually Maupay releases the ball to Solly March, who's running on to it. I just wondered, Glenn, whether he was thinking initially not the pace on the ball, whether he was thinking to go with his right foot, changed his mind.
Yeah, he just seemed to get caught in two minds there as he was approaching the ball, didn't he? I don't know if he quite had the legs on it to roll onto his left foot, and he just seemed to slip into it a little bit and shanked it out for a Southampton goal kick.
Midway through the second half, 1-1. Southampton certainly aren't going to just settle for a point. They're going to send on Nathan Redmond in just a few moments. Hasn't played since November the 6th. He's been out with a thigh problem. And it's headed away by Lamptey for Brighton inside his own half, 5 yards inside his own half. Southampton push forward again. Adams battling but fouling. Joel Veltman, who came to that wonderful Ajax production factory, the youth team set up there, and reached a European final with them, of course, and beaten by Manchester United. As now Redmond does come on, and he replaces Theo Walcott, and great Who comes out from the fans. If you're a football fan and you've been to a ground, as soon as the opposition make a substitution and the name is read out, the home fans always shout Who. It's not greatly humorous, and it's not greatly original, but it always makes me laugh.
Yeah.
It always makes me laugh.
Yeah, very childish, aren't you?
Two really strong substitutions from Southampton there to be able to bring Ings and Redmond on in the same game. It shows the strength in depth they've got in the squad.
Across goes Begmarat for Southampton between the penalty area and the far touchline, and he clears it away. And free kick to Brighton. I'll throw into Brighton, and just a few boos there for Nathan Redmond, who's holding up play before they can restart. Very childish, Chris, as you just said. Going to be a throw into Brighton on the right, taken down the line, and initially cleared away by Bertrand, and a big heave-ho by Vestergaard, whose headed goal was an absolute belter of a header. Brighton come again, and Southampton have got a wee bit flat here, Saints fans. If you're listening to 5 Live tonight, you should be a wee bit worried at the moment. Here's Maupay into that Southampton penalty area, seen off adequately though by Bednarak, and brought away by Walker-Peters. First time I saw him was the Spurs youth team at Norwich in an under-20 Premier League under-23 game. He roved all over the pitch that night, Walker-Peters, sensationally. And it's a throw here for Southampton.
Yeah, he's done well in a Southampton jersey, hasn't he? I think it was initially a loan.
Was, yeah. That was a terrific night. Many terrific things come out of Norfolk, Chris Sutton.
Well, there you go.
And if I could find one tonight, I'd tell you. Here's the Redmond.
I was born in Nottingham, that's why.
Lovely ball away towards Walker-Peters. Up comes the goalkeeper. Yeah, I should have done my homework, shouldn't I?
Well, maybe not.
Brighton have possession. Deep inside their own half, just outside their own penalty, actually. It's cleared away by Veltman, but headed powerfully forward by Vestergaard. Romeo, he's covered so much ground in that Southampton midfield today, but as he tucked the ball forward looking for Redmond, it's a blue shirt that was there. Veltman back then towards Matty Ryan. He clears it away. 1-1, 20 minutes to go here.
You do sense there's going to be a moment, though, don't you? For something's going to happen. Something's going to break for one of these two teams. Brighton need it, don't they? Not won at home all season. And Southampton win tonight, up to 5th. Plenty to play for in these last 20.
Don't forget the 1,000 points, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're on a 1,000-point bonus, actually. It's Southampton down the left-hand side, trying to force an opportunity to get the cross into Che Adams. Ings was burrowing away on that far side, but it's out of play. Brighton's home form last season, 5 wins, 7 draws, and 7 defeats this season. Just the 3 draws, the 2 defeats by Chelsea and Manchester United. Last season up, they got 29 home points. Second season, 23 points. Third season, 22 points. In comes across looking for Armstrong for Southampton. Heads it down. Danny Ings trying to squeeze between the gap, and Lewis Dunk was there to head it away, and it's cleared out by assuming the game has swung a little bit.
Yeah, good defending. That's good defending from Lewis Dunk, because you know Danny Ings, so aware in the box, took the ball on his chest, tried to kid Dunk on, shaped to go right, went left, and Dunk read it well and made the clearance. Just listen to this.
Whatever club you support, and I do feel sorry if your club is in a tier 3 situation and you can't go to grounds, but I'm sure you will appreciate the return of supporters. Cross from Bertrand, overhit all the way through the penalty area, and the left full back position for Brighton. It's out by left wing back Solly March, but Southampton have it back again, right hand side, 1-1. Romeo has a look and lifts it left footed keenly away, neatly played away to Vestergaard, who helps it on, keeps the momentum of the move going, and Redmond now inside the left position, has a look, ball stuck to his feet, pokes it into the penalty, Ings back to goal, lovely skills, and behind him came Redmond into the gap and lifted it over the bar from no more than 8 yards out, and I wonder if he'd left it to Danny Ings.
Well, yeah, and spot on, Jonathan, clever from Ings. 1, 2, 3 touches, pops it back over his head and over the head of Veltman. Yeah, and Redmond runs onto it right-footed. He should do so much better, but I think Danny Ings would have fancied that one, and what a goal that would have been.
Swung against Brighton at the moment, Glenn, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. I think Southampton are in the ascendancy, and Danny Ings is approaching the box again. He just turns back and gives it to Bertrand, but yeah, definitely in the ascendancy. They're getting the ball into Danny Ings much more, and they seem to have Brighton pinned in at the moment.
Cross into the box by Redmond, headed away inside that Brighton Hove Albion penalty area by Lewis Dunk again, but it drops to a white shirt. Not a good ball back in by Redmond, and Vestergaard has to steamroll his way through 2 challenges. They saw him coming and hopped out the way, commanding again from the big Southampton Danish international centre-back, recently in action for his country against Iceland, I seem to remember. And away by Tarek Lamptey. And Southampton have it, walking pace. Brighton fans getting a little bit edgy, a little bit frustrated. Vestergaard has it. Are Brighton a team that needed their home support this season to get wins, or are they a team that find it difficult to get going when the fans get edgy? Certainly think Sheffield United have missed their home support at Bramall Lane, a major reason why they're where they are at the bottom. There are other reasons, of course, but little header on here by Walker-Peters, and it's lumped out by Webster, and the Brighton fans did not like that at all. That's not the way that Graham Potter likes his teams to play, and Basuma now has the ball on the deck and scoops it wide to Mope, coming very deep. He's a yard in from this left-hand touchline, only a yard inside the Southampton half. He turns, the orange boots flashing away there as he finds Basuma, back to Lewis Dunk. Dunk cuts it on an angle to Webster, and he's facing his own penalty area and rolls it back then
They just
to Matthew
look like
Wright.
They're tiring a little bit, Brighton and Southampton. You can see they fancy this.
Brighton have had this problem of holding on to leads. Solly March, can he conjure something up? Mope, suddenly they've got a 2-on-2. Mope drops his shoulder, went to roll inside, and Danny Welbeck wanted the ball played up to him on the edge of the penalty and then made the run, and it's a free kick, or should be a free kick. Gross had fouled Romeo, but the referee's playing advantage. Southampton have it. Ward-Prowse, 10-yard ball to the left-hand touchline, gets it back again, can create from out there. Less than 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, and I mentioned Brighton tiring. There's a couple of substitutes. Trossard in your hand back, stripped and ready to come on.
Trossard, who came on for Mope against Liverpool, And Jahanbakhsh, who has this peculiar record of affecting games when he comes off the bench. Anyways, Jahanbakhsh, the Iranian international. That's a lovely ball for Southampton. Walker-Peters gone down in the penalty area. That's a massive appeal for a Southampton penalty kick. He's given a free kick outside the box.
Yeah, initial contact outside the box. They'll obviously be checking this. I tell you, he's had a good game, hasn't he, Vestergaard? Brilliant ball, left-footed. An initial contact was outside the box from Solly March. Good chest control from Walker-Peters. Took it inside March, and March committed. Not saying he's fortunate, he may have known he's outside the box, but still an opportunity for Southampton, especially with James Ward-Prowse over it.
Nice of Chris Sutton, Glenn Murray with us as well. And it's going to be a free kick that Ward-Prowse will take on a cold night. And looking at the penalty area there, little Tariq Lamptey, a little bit of a push and shove session with Jan Bednarak, who's 6'2". That is a height difference of 10 inches. Look at him out there. He's
not backing down.
No, he's not, is he? He's not going to get past me. I'm pretty sure he will. But anyway,
they're still checking this, aren't they?
Yep.
For a possible penalty. It's whether he goes into the box, doesn't he?
It's whether or not the foul continues on inside the penalty area.
It seemed like he fell into the box, didn't he? But the initial contact was outside.
I think that would be harsh to award a penalty, wouldn't it?
I think it would be very harsh. Oh, look at that angle.
That's the problem. You start looking at too many angles, confuse yourself.
From that angle, it looks as if it should be a penalty. And I think it would be harsh. Trossard and Jahanbakhsh wait to come on. How many angles do they need?
Well, exactly. Let's just make your mind up. He's given a penalty.
It's a penalty kick to Southampton.
Well, I have to say that's a surprise. That's a real surprise to me.
And this could be decisive. 78 minutes on the clock, and Southampton have a penalty kick for the foul by Solly March. It was a lovely ball to the edge of the penalty area. March is convinced the foul was outside the penalty area, but the VAR and the referee have now concurred and said it.
That's harsh.
Yeah.
Really does seem harsh.
Well, the initial contact was definitely outside the box for me, and I don't think it carried on inside the penalty. Look at it again here.
Yeah, the initial. He's good yard outside the box, and he falls into the box.
I think Brighton can feel very aggrieved with that penalty. There's another delay now.
Well, we've just seen VAR complete up on the screens, and they showed a little snippet of action, and that's why the Brighton fans are howling.
Yeah, we see a yellow card come out. I think it's to Pascal Gross
for the descent.
He's having to wait a long time to take this penalty, Danny Ings, isn't he, Chris? And there's nothing worse as a striker with a long delay before a penalty kick.
Well, initially David Coote, the referee, gave the free kick outside the box, but he checked with Peter Banks, and the penalty kick is given now. And Danny Ings settles and puts the ball down on the spot and just pulls up his socks and wipes his face with his forearm. The tattooed forearm of Danny Ings, prolific goal scorer for Southampton last season. Can he send them towards fifth in the Premier League? It's Ings from the penalty spot. He had to wait a long time. Brilliantly done.
Very, very good penalty. Sends Matty Ryan the wrong way into the left corner, into the side net, and fantastic penalty from Danny Ings.
Yeah, Brighton will feel really hard done by, but deadly Danny Ings whips it across Ryan, who goes the wrong way. He had to wait, didn't he? Waited a long time, but that tells you Danny Ings, his mindset.
And still now the Brighton players are surrounding the referee as he walks back to the centre circle.
And they've waited a long time to make this substitution. Jahanbakhsh on for Ben White, and replacing Danny Welbeck is Andrew Trossard.
I mean, they're surrounding the referee. I mean, you can't Can we blame the referee, though? He's only doing what he's instructed there, isn't he? What he's hearing in his ear.
Why didn't he come to see the screen?
Well, I think that's a very good point. Make your own mind up.
And it's cleared away by Ward-Prowse. Southampton lead by 2-1. Once again, Brighton have been in an advantageous position at home and haven't made it count and haven't held on to a lead. It's a problem, actually, that Southampton have had from winning positions. They've dropped 42 points from winning positions under Ralph Harston, who have got... But it's Southampton in lead by 2-1. Can Jahanbakhsh inspire a comeback? You never quite know what's going to come from him in the game. Here's March for Brighton Hove Albion, finding Trossard, creeping towards the dead ball line, pulls it back, looking for the flick on by Jahanbakhsh in there. He edged it on to Mope, comes out to Basuma, who took it down very well. Basuma, 3 Southampton players were there. One of them was Romeo, being pressurised by Trossard. And he clears it away and deflects it away. And Brighton now up and at them, Glenn, where they'd gone a bit quiet, hadn't they? Gone a bit flat in the period leading up to that Southampton goal.
Yeah, they had to, but you can tell already that the Southampton players have something to hang on to. There's a little bit more bite in their challenges. They're a bit stronger as a unit, and I think it's going to be difficult for Brighton to break them down now, but these 2,000 supporters will be urging them on for the last 8 minutes.
It's interesting that the Brighton substitutes all look back at us when we could see the replays of the penalty incident, and they were looking to get any sort of sign from us, and to be honest though, we didn't think it was a penalty.
The initial decision was a free kick, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Gross cautioned for dissent, and the arguments went on. They've settled down now,
the point I'm getting at is they must have been certain there was a penalty to overturn it like that.
I'm really surprised that the referee didn't come over to see for himself. I expected that to happen.
Gross into Mope, turns on the penalty spots. Shot fires wide. Nice turn, got the shot away on the half turn. Wide it goes.
You know what though? I'm not so sure whether he caught this flush. It's popped in from Gross into Mope on the penalty spot, and that it's actually well wide, 1.5 yards, 2 yards wide. Doesn't get the connection with his left foot, swivels. I think he'd be disappointed with that, Glenn.
Yeah, I think he'd done the hard work with the turn and he just needed to pass it into the corner, but he just didn't seem to get the right connection and passed it past the post.
I think he looks like a player who will work hard for his goals. I saw him play for Saint-Etienne a lot in France. As Brighton come again, Jahanbakhsh into the penalty area, and it's ballooned away by Vestergaard, and Southampton are frantically making a signal towards their bench. What's Ward-Prowse signalling here? It's going to be a corner kick for Brighton anyway. 6 minutes to go. Brighton 1, Southampton 2.
All of a sudden there's much more urgency in the Brighton play, which I feel they shouldn't have had to wait to go behind before that happened.
Corner kick swings away for Brighton, and
good keeping.
Good, important keeping by McCarthy. He might have juggled it fractionally as he came for the ball, but he gathered it.
Yep. Wasn't the pace on the corner, but he's still come a long way. 8-9 yards, plucks it out of the sky. And that's perfect, isn't it? That's what you want your goalkeeper to do. Be nice and commanding, take the pressure off.
Played a whole season now of consecutive league football, 38 games before tonight. The position his own. Basuma for Brighton. 5 minutes to go, 5 live from the BBC. And the foul on Solly March. Free kick taken quickly. Basuma out wide to the far side. Veltman has it. Veltman to Tariq Lamptey. Perhaps hasn't got forward enough like this today. Once or twice. He's Gross just outside the penalty, trying to spin ball the way out wide towards Solly March on the left hand side, but Southampton clear, and Veltman has dumped his man Che Adams to the ground. What a selfless performance by Che Adams again in that front running role for Southampton. He knows he's going to get hit now and again, but really selfless I think he's played today for Southampton.
Well, Glenn will tell you the importance of your centre forward holding the ball up, winning a free kick. Brighton just put some good pressure on, and that's so important for the team. We're just seeing that the penalty award again. He actually draws the line. They're showing on this monitor him put his spray down on the line. Good yard outside the box.
We're seeing it again here.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Does the foul continue on into the penalty area and deny an opportunity?
I don't think it does.
No.
The initial contact is clearly outside the box.
Well, he's been involved in one or two controversial VAR incidents this season, David Coote, and there's another one. And the question I would raise again, why didn't he come and look at the screen? But it's Redmond now for Southampton, trying to get away from his man, couldn't, and it's a goal kick for Brighton and Hove Albion. Brighton 1, Southampton 2. Don't forget, we've got Mike Costello and Bunsey and Anthony Joshua coming up after 10 tonight. Start of fight week and the big fight against Bullev at the weekend, like you can hear on 5 Live. March for Brighton Hove Albion, and then towards Mopay, just Twelton a little bit. He's a fraction off at the moment for me in a lot of what he does. But Romeo digs out the ball for it. Felt he was fouled, and the referee has given the free kick the way of Southampton. It seemed to me he was facing the other way when he gave the decision. And Southampton now need to manage this situation, manage it out, go 5th in the Premier League table.
He's been terrific tonight though, Romeo, again, hasn't he?
Brilliant.
He got away with that one, but so aggressive in there, that central midfield area. A real stopper, breaks the play up well, does things simply.
Free kick angle up towards Che Adams, headed away though for Brighton by Beltman, and now here's Tarek Lamptey. He can speed down that right hand side. 2 men in the middle for him. One was Trossard, the other one was Mopé, but as he lifted his head to get the cross in, the ball was stolen away by the excellent Vestergaard.
Yeah, little and large, wasn't it? Just thinking Lamptey push it past him, but that big left boot out of the Danish giant.
Free kick here against Missouma, who's in trouble. Yellow card. He seemed to slam his hands down onto the pitch when the free kick was given against him. And it's been another night where we've been talking about a VAR decision, and it seems that in every 15-20 minute period of most games we're talking about a VAR decision. I know a lot of you think that it should be done away with. I don't think it will be. There's been too much investment, but we certainly need to get it right in this country. Dunk across the line of his back four, and Webster will play out to feet. Trossard pursued by Walker Peters, who stole it off him. Good aggressive full-back play, but it's a throw to Brighton nonetheless. And we have moments to go here on 5 Live. And this Amex Hoodoo's going to come back and hit them again. Look at this Vestergaard coming forward.
Poor pass. There's a chance for Brighton. Vestergaard off his thighs into Gross. He was out of position. Just want half an opportunity, Brighton. Can they create something?
We're just about to have the fourth official bring out the board.
Southampton have shown great game management after they've gone in the lead. They've passed the ball. They've picked Brighton off in 1s and 2s as they've pressed, and they've really shown Premier League know-how in the last 5-10 minutes of this game.
A more experienced Premier League side, of course. They returned to the Premier League, was it 8 years ago now, something like that, after they were in the doldrums really. League One until 2011, administration and the like, and they've won the ball up high again. Che Adams, brilliantly done. Redmond into the penalty area. Armstrong's arriving here. The goalkeeper comes out, slips. Armstrong takes it at him again, and Matt Ryan just nicks it off his toes. We're into 4 minutes of stoppage time at the Amex. Brighton have gone such a long while without winning. They haven't won at home this season in 5. They haven't won at home in 10 in all. And Walker Peters on the right for Southampton, steadies on the ball, wanted to do too much of it, didn't get a help, didn't get a shout. Reggie Hambach takes it off his toes, left hand touchline, drops his shoulder, goes inside Romeo, can do anything this player. Hambach, you never quite know, and now it goes wide towards the right hand touchline, and Tarek Lamptey. No way through. Southampton really disciplined defending, holding out, trying to guard this lead, get back to winning ways after the
brilliant from Southampton. But do you know what, Brighton, they had the chance to put the ball into the box.
Might do now, Chris. Here's March with the ball into the penalty. Glided on in there. Little header by Trossard, easily gathered by Alex McCarthy.
There's half an opportunity. March whips it in. Trossard beyond the near post, on his knees, trying to help it on. Into the far corner, straight at McCarthy.
Next up for Brighton, Leicester away, and then Fulham away, Sheffield United here. They must really do well in those two games to calm a few nerves. This is not the return to the Amex for the fans that Graham Potter would have wished for. They might yet get something out of the game. Veltman drives forward. Vestergaard has been excellent, heads it away. Ward-Prowse turns it forward, and Southampton hold deep inside their own half. Are you growing concerned, Glenn, at the moment about your old side? That's a brilliant ball attempted by Dunk, but it's headed away.
Yeah, I think they've got themselves to blame tonight. Unfortunately, they had their opportunities in the first half, and then they let Southampton grow in confidence. And as we see, Southampton on the break again with Danny Ings.
Selfless again from Che Adams on the edge of his own box. You know what? Things haven't come off for him tonight, but the work he does for his team out of possession, harrying, closing down. Never a moment's peace. And do you know what? It sums the whole of the Southampton team up, doesn't it? That work ethic, so important. And that's why they have 1,000 points, Jonathan.
That's exactly right. 1,000 points in Premier League football. And let me remind you, boys, they are the 11th side to reach that tally.
Incredible stat.
It's unbelievable. As you continue to work with me, Glenn, you'll realise it's a pretty pointless exercise, to be honest. Headed on by Dunk, and away it goes. It didn't stick with Mopé. But oh no, Romeo, I thought was going to clear it. He hasn't. Dunk's taking off his toes halfway inside the Southampton half, away towards Lamptey. Goes up through the gears. Look who's guarding him though, Romeo. Hasn't he worked hard today? He really has put in a shift. But Dunk was caught by the former Chelsea player.
You sort of want Dunk in the box there. He's out on the right wing. Still is. Last chance for Brighton.
And you mentioned there, Chris, it was Che Adams back tackling there in the left back position for Southampton.
They've had some strong performances, Southampton. Here's Solly March now for Brighton. Goes in on his right foot. He won't fancy that, and he tripped anyway and sags to the ground. Southampton have the ball at the feet of Che Adams, who's run it away and out of play, and Graham Potter reacts quickly, tries to get the ball back in, but Webster, his centre-back, beat him to it. Rolls back to the halfway line. Gross angles it up to the edge of the penalty, looking for Duncan. Vestergaard came, Rose heads it away, and Southampton go away with a 2-1 victory at Brighton. Another win for them on this ground, where they have such a terrific record against Brighton, and though they were behind to a penalty in the first half, converted by Gross, they came back and levelled with a powerful Vestergaard header in that first period, and they've won it with a Danny Ings penalty, back in the side after injury and getting the goal, controversially given after a VAR decision. Southampton have won this one, Chris, by 2-1. Your thoughts?
Ralph Hasenhüttl skips down the touchline, celebrates another big win, up to 5th place for Southampton. I have to say, though, controversial, the penalty award. Danny Ings, who came on at half-time, had a decent second half, tucked it away well, but if you're Graham Potter, you're saying, we didn't deserve that. They aren't getting the breaks necessarily this season. Not been a great start for Brighton, but the story again here is Southampton off to an absolute flyer. The confidence they have in the team, absolutely amazing.
And Glenn Murray, the man just walking away down below us, who got their first goal. What a performance by Yannick Vestergaard.
Yeah, it was a fantastic performance. Brilliant header to get Southampton back in the game, and I thought he was dominant throughout, to be honest. He had a really good game tonight, and I think that would have been an area that Brighton would have felt they could have got in behind him with his, well, he's not slow, but I'm not as quick as others, so I think that would be something that Brighton felt as though they could get behind, but unfortunately it just wasn't to be, and he was very good on the night.